Hello and greetings. Bound Together Books and Northern Lights Publishing bring you Authors Exchange, short interviews with indie and traditional authors, hosted by fiction and nonfiction author Joseph Carrabas. Today's guest is Chelmsford-based mystery, crime, horror, science fiction, fantasy author and educator Dale T. Phillips. Dale has published novels, story collections, articles, poetry, nonfiction, and 100 short stories. Stephen King taught Dale at UMO, and since then, Dale has found time to appear on stage, television, radio, in an independent feature film, compete on Jeopardy, where he lost in a spectacular fashion, and travel through all 50 states, Mexico, Canada, and through Europe. Dale also moderates a bi-monthly author chat for the Tyngsborough Public Library. Check out their calendar for dates and guests. Hello, everybody. We're here today with Dale Phillips. Dale's going to tell you about the amazing stuff that he writes, because I don't know it all. I can't keep up with him. But I do know he's a very good writer, very gifted writer. He studied with Stephen King. Whoa! So anyway, let me put this to show us side by side. And now, Dale, tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Joseph, and thank you for doing this to get the word out for others. There's unfortunately some writers who do not help other authors. They think it's competitive when it's really cooperative. And the hard part is getting us all together to make everyone do better.
Yeah.
And I'm Dale T. Phillips. And yes, I had Stephen King as a teacher in college. And that's why I became a writer. The man was so inspirational, so knowledgeable, so passionate about the craft. And I just said, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. So that's why I'm a writer, and I can point to my table full of books at a show and say, that's his fault. And my tagline is scary books and murderous crooks. So I do write the scary stuff, since I did learn from the master, learn from the very best. And I do write mysteries and crime, and I do have other things as well. I have nonfiction, I have some magic realism, some science fiction, a lot of different things. I have a book of poetry coming out. So yeah, and I'm starting to learn how to write a screenplay as well. So,
oh, wow. Dale, you wrote an author's help book, right?
Oh, yes, which you were actually I've written a few author help books. I wrote How to Be a Successful Indie Writer, because after 20 years in the business, people kept asking the same questions over and over. So I wrote the book, and I can just hand them the book and go, here, that answers all your questions, or if you have any others, let me know. And I get very few after that, because I think the book did well enough to do that. But the next question after that is, okay, Dale, I've got that down. I published my book. Now, how do I sell more? So I wrote 87 Ways to Sell More Books. And you were a contributor, as you know. And I did get feedback, because other authors were saying, oh, you got to talk about this, and you got to talk about this. I said, well, you know what? Why don't you have a piece in that, and then I'll let you order and sell books as you wish too at shows where we're not together. So everybody gets a piece of the pie. That's the nice thing about cooperation. Yeah. And other people can promote and tell other people. So we're in a marketing Facebook group, and other people keep asking the same questions again. And it's just like, well, here it is. Here's a resource that has these answers. Just check it out. I mean, just look at the table of contents. I mean, please, do something. There's so many people that want to be handed a silver tray with the golden ticket of success on it and go, there, I don't have to do anything now. And they want the fairy godmother to wave the wand and say, you are now rich and successful and a million seller and at the top of the New York Times bestseller list for 4 weeks. And then they go, well, what about 5 weeks? And that's like,
well, I want that too, but anyway.
Well, I don't, because that's a gamed system. And if you're that commercial, I don't think you've got the best book. But just because I've read a lot of them, and I'm just like, to me, that's the McDonald's franchise, or any fast food franchise. That's the pink slime burgers. Yes, billions of people love them, but you forget about them afterwards. They're not
Yeah.
really the most. They're not classics. And I
Right.
mean, do you remember the best book of 1947? I mean, the one was at all top of the charts, right? I mean, but do you remember some other ones? And you remember the pulp writers who wrote these
Oh, yeah.
unforgettable characters.
Yeah.
Robert E. Howard with Conan and Tarzan and all of these, even
Yep.
Doc Savage and stuff like that.
Yes.
The pulp writers worked so hard. They were producing because at a penny a word, they had to write a lot to make a living, but they made
Yeah.
a very good living.
They did.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, do you have any of your books handy that you could hold up and show?
I do not. I don't have them upstairs. Oh, wait. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, there's one. Yeah, I keep those all downstairs. This is my upstairs office.
Okay.
Can you see?
Tell us the title.
All the Fables and Fantasies. That's not showing up, is it? That's weird.
No, that's okay. Life goes on. All the Fables and Fantasies.
Right. I wrote I wrote so many short stories. I've got over 100 published stories. And
Wow.
I wrote short books like of 5 tales each just to get them out. They're kind of like resume pieces. At a show, it's like, hey, here's a couple of bucks. You can buy some great fantasy stories and get that. And I had so many of these short books, and it was a pain to do inventory and stock and keep ordering. Oh, I got 3 of these and 4 of these, and I need some. So I combined them. So this one is 15 stories of fables and fantasies, kind of like some twisted fairy tales, dragons, swords, princesses, things like that. And for people that don't like the mystery and they don't like the crime and they don't like the really scary stuff, or they've got somebody, a teenager who's like 15, they say, what have you got? And I go, oh, check this out. And I hand them a copy of that, and they look on the back and go, oh, okay, this could be fun.
Excellent. You write a bunch of different genres. You write them all very well. Is there a challenge going from, for example, science fiction to murder mystery to author help to whatever else?
The challenge is keeping focused enough to get work out. I will sometimes be working on 3 or 4 different projects and another one pops up. And I say it's the muse. And the muse appears and she smacks me upside the head and says, do this one now. And I go, yeah, but shut up. Just shut up and do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's a bitch, isn't she?
No, I do not. I say the muse has been very generous to me. I mean, you don't get 100 good stories out without some help.
Yeah.
Some ideas coming from somewhere, and boy, and no, it's not a challenge because the story dictates what it will be. Sometimes I work from just a title. Sometimes I work from a concept. Sometimes I work from a character. I had this one character, Jimmy Snaps. I just came up with that name, and that's one of those mob names, like Tommy 2 Times, stuff like that, or Big Tuna or something. And it was Jimmy Snaps, and I go, oh, that's just such a good character name, and I got to do a story around it. And I had it referenced in one story, but Jimmy Snaps needed his own story, and so I just wrote that this year, and I put that out to an anthology call. So I'm hoping that one sells. But it's that sort of thing. Sometimes I usually know what the genre is going to be when I start getting into it, but once I start, and I do what's called writing into the dark. E.L. Doctorow said it's like this: when you're out at night, you can only see as far as your headlights, but you can make the whole trip that way. And this is writing into the dark. You are doing the same thing. You don't know what's coming next, but you got a little bit. Okay, I'm going to develop this scene. Oh, okay, that leads you to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And you make the whole trip that way, whether it's a short story or a long novel.
Oh, I like that.
Or
I'm going to steal that.
Oh, please, absolutely. No, I use so many examples and good things to follow, good rules. I always quote Kurt Vonnegut, take your main character, drive them up a tree, and then throw rocks at them. No, I think that was Mark Twain. I'm sorry. Vonnegut said, make your main character want something very badly, even if it's just a glass of water. But that's the premise. Take
Yes.
your main character, make them really, really want something, and then don't let them get it. What are these obstacles? Why do they deserve it? Why do they want it? Is that the thing that they really need? Or do they get something else in the search for that thing?
Folks, you're hearing from the master, just to let you know. One more thing before we close off. You are from Maine originally, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and a lot of your stories, if I'm not mistaken, they take place in Portland?
Yes, the mystery series is set in Portland because, LA, Chicago, New York, Boston, everybody covered all the big cities. Okay, yes, there's lots of crime, there's lots of fun stuff. And I went, yeah, but Portland, Maine, now that's a different kettle of fish. Because you've got the historical Portland, you've got the working class Portland, you've got the yuppie gentrification of Portland, you've got the backwoods people who come down from the hills in their pickup trucks. You've got such a mix there of the classes and the different strata of society. And I said, what a great place. And if you're from away, you're not from there, you come in trying to find out information on a crime, and nobody's going to talk to you. Right. And you come in with no resources. I set this up. Talk about throwing rocks at your character. He had a bad history, so the cops don't believe him, don't like him, don't want to talk to him. Nobody wants to talk to him. He's got no friends, no idea what to do. And he goes, and he's been in the big cities with a very troubled past. And he goes, what the hell kind of a place is this? But he learns about it, and he finds that it's a healing place. And even by helping others, he's helping to help himself heal. Mm-hmm. And I just got so fascinated with this character. And after the first one, I said, well, that's great, but oh man, there's some more tales that need to be told here. So now we're up to book 7 that has just been published, and and hopefully more to come. But it's tough because everything is very tied in thematically, from the title is a literary quote to the theme of the book to the cover. It all goes together. It's layer upon layer.
Excellent. Very good to know. Mr. Dale Phillips, author extraordinaire, who will be appearing in the Authors Exchange at Bound Together Books in Nashua, New Hampshire. We're going to be posting the date everywhere and the time, so pay attention. It's going to be up there. Dale, thank you so much. Dale will be at Bound Together Books, 95 West Pearl Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03060 on Saturday, 18 April 2026, 6 to 8 p.m. Thank you for watching this Authors Exchange. Authors Exchange is brought to you by Bound Together Books and Northern Lights Publishing. Would you like to schedule an author event at Bound Together Books? Go to http://nlb.pub/author exchange. That's on your screen, and one word, Author Exchange, with a capital A and a capital E to begin the process. See all Bound Together events at https://boundtogethernh.com/calendar.